What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Nichols. Welcome back to another MMA event reaction video. Today, we're going to be going over the UFC on ESPN Plus 28, Lee versus Oliveira, also known as UFC Fight Night Brasilia or UFC Brasilia. This event just finished about 10 minutes ago, I think. And today is Saturday, March 14th, 2020. And hey, we got an event completed before 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is great. I think the card, let's see, if it's 7:30 my time now, it started at 2 o'clock my time, so in under 5.5 hours, I'll take that. Like, I think cards sometimes go 7 hours, so I feel like I have some of the day left, which is great. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights. A little tidbit, I don't know if you noticed, but this card, the amount of decisions this card has actually, and I think I saw Errol Hawani tweet this as well and confirmed it, this event tied the current record of decisions in one card. If we would have got one more decision towards the tail end of that card, we would have had a record-setting number of decisions, which isn't always a good thing, you know how Dana White likes his finishes. So, and then to touch on the no audience, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not that I thought it was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to be really weird. It was right at first, like the first couple fights when I'm slipping on the announcer's name. I'm so used to just Bruce Buffer. When he announced the fighters' names and you didn't hear any reactions at all from the crowd, you're like, oh, this is weird. But it almost felt normal throughout the fights, not hearing crowd cheering and things like that. I thought it was pretty cool. So, excuse me, I liked it. We'll see how the next couple events go, because while this card was going on, Nevada, I want to say, let me see if I can bring it up. Nevada actually said... So Sean Al-Shadi confirmed, says the Nevada State Athletic Commission has voted to revoke licensing for all combat sports events in the state until March 25th. And if you look at the upcoming schedule for the UFC, it really doesn't affect them at the moment. They have UFC London going on next weekend, so next Saturday, and then after that, the next event, which I think was the one that was supposed to be in Ohio on the 28th, is already past the 25th, and they already said they would bring it back to Apex. So I think Nevada kind of did that because they knew the UFC was going to have the event on Saturday, so it sounds like they're going to sit down again when it gets close to the 25th and see if they should continue to not have events in Vegas or Nevada. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole coronavirus stuff plays out in the next couple months. Of course, MLB and NBA and all the other big sporting organizations, of course, canceled or suspended all their events. The XFL, Bellator, which, speaking of Bellator, I was actually going to do a preview video for the Bellator card last night, because actually the Bellator card last night was stacked. And I was super excited for it. And then it was weird. I feel indifferent. Like, obviously I understand the cancellation for the Bellator event, but the thing is, you already had all the fighters weigh in. It was literally day off and you canceled it. Like, why did we wait till the last second? I wonder if Bellator and Viacom were already kind of on the edge, and there was something that was just like set them off, and they're like, yep, call it. Of course, Scott Coker and crew kind of put out the blanketed thing saying because of health concerns and all that, which again is understandable, but UFC said, screw it, we're going through with it. And I don't know, I'm mixed on the whole UFC having the event too. It's like, you really shouldn't. And because I was listening to Luke Thomas the other day, and he stated, if you think about it, don't think of just the fighters, think about the fighters' families, think about the gyms that the fighters have to train at. So they have to have training partners, they have to have coaches, they have to have staff. So all these other people that they're interacting with every day. Plus, today at the actual event, the fighters were in the hotel. They're around the actual UFC event staff. Maybe if there was any kind of normal event staff for that arena in Brazil. Like, they were all around all those people. And so, I don't know. While it sucks not having sports and it's nice to have fights, it's, what will be the cost of... I really hope there is no blowback for having this event and possibly the UFC events in the future, because everybody else, like I said, suspended or canceled. So, anyways, I don't want to talk about it too much. I'm not no expert. I'm just going off of the information I've heard and learned over the last week. So, let's get to the actual card, shall we? So, main event, we have Kevin Lee versus Charles Oliveira in the 155-pound lightweight main event, 5-minute rounds. The winner, Charles Oliveira, round 3, 28 seconds in via guillotine choke submission. Did you guys notice when when Kevin Lee tapped, you could see when Charles Oliveira was kind of, I think he was going to his right to kind of stand up, and that's when Kevin Lee kind of wrapped around him. You could see Kevin Lee kind of stumbling. I think even though he tapped, and then Charles let go, I think Kevin Lee went out a couple seconds, because then he came to, felt Charles kind of to Kevin Lee scrambling, but Oliveira went to kind of get up and go away, and Lee felt him scrambling, so he grabbed him instinctively, and then of course Mike Beltran, the referee, had to stop and say, no dude, you tapped and you must have went out. So I'll tell you what, I'll say this, for Charles Oliveira, that dude, he has come a long way. I remember watching him, and now, not only does he have, before this fight, he already held the record for most submissions in the UFC. Now we just added another one to it. I'd have to go look and see what that number is. I don't even know who the number 2 is, to be honest. I could probably think of a couple fighters, maybe Frank Mir, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if Frank even has that many. But Oliveira is just going to continue on that train of adding submissions to his record. So... But not even just the submission game. Obviously, that's what got him the W against Kevin Lee. But Charles Oliveira looked like he was on another level today. His striking has come such a long way. Like, obviously, fighters should and will be afraid of Charles Oliveira's ground game, his grappling. But his stand-up, obviously, it's not to the level of Conor and some of the best strikers we have out there. But it was so effective during that main event, I feel like, against Kevin Lee. I'll say this. Kevin Lee was coming back. I want to say towards the end of the second round, he got a takedown on Oliveira. I want to say, I forget which round. It might have been the second round where he got him down, and Charles Oliveira was going for so many submissions, and he was so slippery, and he was scrambling so well. Like, Kevin Lee was in trouble a couple times. And I want to say Kevin Lee was almost in the calf slicer twice. And Oliveira just looked great with grappling and stand-up. So I know after the fight, Charles Oliveira called out the winner between Khabib and Tony. I might put the brakes on that only because I still believe Justin Gaethje should get the next shot there. But Charles Oliveira definitely should get at least the top 5 fight in lightweight. I want to say Oliveira was featherweight back in the day, and I was worried about the size discrepancy between Kevin Lee and Charles Oliveira and how that was going to play out, because obviously, or as you may or may not know, is Kevin Lee missed weight for the event or for the fight today. He missed the weight yesterday. I think he was 2 pounds over, and it's unfortunate. I think Kevin Lee's only missed weight twice, but I feel like Kevin Lee is one of those guys where he's not big enough for 170, because of course he went to 170 and tried against I think it was RDA and lost. And gassed out pretty hard, had that one fight and came back to lightweight. So I would like to see, obviously, Kevin Lee stick at lightweight. I don't want him to go back to welterweight, but he almost would be one of those guys where he would benefit from a 165-pound division. But, yeah, the size discrepancy wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. Charles Oliveira looked great, dude. He looked really great, and he definitely deserves next fight in top 5. Kevin Lee, he falls to 6 losses now, so he'd be 18-6. I don't think this is too big of an upset. I know he was calling out, I forget who that Russian cat is. He's been calling out. I think he was supposed to fight, and I think it fell through. Then he now fought Oliveira. I think he could still go back and fight the Russian cat he was going to fight. that supposedly nobody wanted to fight. Go back and possibly get another beast win against him and just get right back in there. I feel like Kevin Lee has the potential. It just is, I feel like he's one of those people that's just taking a lot longer to get to that point. I mean, how old is Kevin Lee? I feel like he's still super young. He is 27. So he's not even 30 yet. Did he turn 27 this or already? No. So this year he'll turn 28 in September. So he could possibly, let's see, it's March, January, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. He could get maybe another fight before he's 28. So I don't think this hurts Kevin Lee a lot. I feel like this puts Oliveira up there. I don't think it puts him up there ready for a title shot, but I think he should definitely get a top 5 at lightweight. So great main event, though. Charles Oliveira looked great, and I'm looking forward to see what he does next. Co-main event, we had Gilbert Burns getting a TKO. I don't know if it was actually, I'm assuming it's TKO, over Damian Maia in the first round, 2 minutes and 34 seconds in. From what I remember, Gilbert Burns, I want to say it was Damian Maia threw like a straight right, and it wasn't exactly when Damian Maia threw the right. It was the left hook, like over the top, because it wasn't like an overhand left, but because it was more of a hook. It looked like, but it was a little delayed. Like here's the right hand, he was pulling it back, and then the left hook. It wasn't like it right at the same time, and clipped Damian right on the chin, and Damian went down and just kind of sat there. And I wish I had a better view of Damian's eyes. I feel like Damian was looking right at him, like he looked all there. Again, from the replays that I saw on the broadcast. And the ref looked at him and said, okay, you're good. And then Gil Burns thought he had it, but ref didn't jump in, so he had to go in and get a couple hammer fists in there to finish it off. So Gil Burns doing great against Maia on the ground. Like his grappling looked great. I've mentioned this in the past. I don't know if I mentioned in my videos, but I've always felt like Gilbert Burns. It was a dark horse in the division, and to take it from what Kamaru Usman, the title, the champion of the division, said back in the day, is he's a problem. Gilbert Burns is a problem for the welterweight division, and he's coming. With this fight, he goes up to 18-3. So he called out who was it, Colby Covington after the fight. I'm totally down for that. Like let me bring up. I should have brought up the rankings. Let me bring it up real quick. Let's see. So Damian Maia was number 5. Gilbert Burns was 12. I didn't know he's that far down. Damn, I can't believe Damian Maia took that fight. Obviously, Leon Edwards and Tyron Woodley are going to be fighting next weekend. Jorge Masvidal is still kind of in the win. Supposedly, it's going to be against Kamaru Usman. I don't know if that was actually confirmed yet. Maybe they'll do that for UFC Fight Week or National Fight Week. So, yeah, that leaves Colby at number 2. Before that would be Stephen Thompson or Michael Chiesa, RDA, then Nate Diaz, Jeff Neal, Robbie Lawler, Gil Burns. So Gilbert beating Damian Maia, number 5. If he gets anywhere up there, right above them, Colby's the only one that doesn't have a fight. So that kind of makes sense. It could be either Gil Burns or Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson being number 6. But I don't remember Stephen Thompson's last fight. Let me take a look. Does it show it? UFC's website is butt sometimes. Trying to look at like records. Oh, that's right. He beat Luque in his last fight. That was November 2nd. So, yeah, he could take on... I don't think they fought before. I'd have to look. Let me look at Gilbert Burns. Let me see if he's fought Wonderboy Thompson. Nope, he's never fought Wonderboy. So, they could do that. Or even Covington. I feel like... I feel like that fight would be great. I feel like that's a winnable fight for both Burns and Covington. The way Covington fights... I feel like he could tire out Burns, but Burns, I feel like not only, I think he would get taken down sooner or later, yes, but I think his grappling is what would be the equalizer with Covington. But Covington's striking would, I think, be, man, I don't know. I feel like it'd be better than Burns, but Burns' striking's come along too. So, yeah, I don't know. Great fight for Burns. Damian Maia. He's, 42 now, I think? let's see, 42. Yeah, so he could get another fight in before he's 43. His birthday's in November. What's his record? So he was on a 3-fight win streak, and then now he lost to Burns. So I feel like this doesn't affect Damian Maia all that much. I mean, he won 3, and before that he lost 3 to Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, and Kamaru Usman. Like Kamaru Usman and Tyron Woodley both being champions, and then Colby, of course, just fighting for the title. So he was fighting killers. So it makes sense he'd lose. But before that, he beat Jorge Masvidal, Carlos Condit, and then just recently he beat Ben Askren, of course, before this fight. So I feel like he's still in there. You know, he's still competitive even at 42 years old. So I'm looking forward to still seeing Damian Maia fight. Before that, we had the first finish on the card with Renato Moicano defeating Damir Hadžević. I'm probably butchering that last name. He got it in the first round in under a minute, 44 seconds, with a submission with rear naked choke. That was quick. And then there's some weird aftermath. I think Moicano was, I don't know if he was, when he got up, if he was looking at Damir and kind of like seeing if he was okay, and it just looked like he was still like being super aggressive, but Damir got up and you could tell like he didn't like how he was looking at him, so that's why they kind of went back and forth. I don't know if there's some bad blood before. I mean, when they did the face-offs previously, they weren't talking crap or anything. So Moicano, what was he calling for? He called somebody out, I want to say, because this was lightweight. Oh, he called out Paul Felder. That's right. And hey, I mean, I'm down for that. Moicano was such a beast. He was such he was on fire at featherweight, and then he ran into Jose Aldo. Who else did he run into? Korean Zombie. And so he also lost to Brian Ortega a couple fights before that, but he beat Calvin Kattar, he beat Cub Swanson, Jeremy Stevens. So he was beasting it at featherweight, and then of course lost to Jose and Korean Zombie, and it's like, well, let's try lightweight. And now here he is fighting Damir, and then now he's calling out Paul Felder. I mean, I guess I would like that fight to kind of help Paul maybe possibly get another win after that tough fucking fight with Hooker. But Moicano, he is a beast. And I don't know if he should fight up near Paul Felder's level. Again, let me look at the rankings. Felder is ranked number 7. I mean, hell, he could take on Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is right behind Paul Felder. Yeah. So, I'm okay with that fight, but yeah, I don't know. Moicano looked great, so looking forward to seeing what's next for him. And now let's go on to all of the decisions on the card. I think there were 7 altogether. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess there's technically 8 because there was one that was a draw. Well, that's still considered a decision, right? I don't know. But yeah, so let's go down the list of decisions here. So we had Nikita Krylov winning a unanimous decision against Johnny Walker. Nikita Krylov just doing what he had to do to beat Walker. Walker was not looking good. Krylov actually clipped him at one point and stunned him. And he was able to take him to the ground and just grapple him and beat him. I kept hearing Frost Hobby calling out to Walker to move his back to the fence. And Walker was doing nothing. He was not listening at all. So not a good showing for Walker. Krylov, another dude that's now back in the UFC. He's looking great. So great win for Krylov. And then the first fight on the main card, Francisco Trinaldo winning a unanimous decision over John Makdessi. Francisco Trinaldo, man, how long has he been in the UFC? Because he's also in the 40s, 41 years old. Let's see. When was his first UFC fight? This dude has been fighting the UFC forever, I feel like. 2012. He's been in the UFC since 2012. He's been in the UFC 8 years. Let me see. How many actual fights has he fought in the UFC? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 fights in the UFC. Now to those 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He lost 6 of them. 21 wins, so 15-6. He's in the UFC. The dude still got it. The dude, obviously, I know a lot of people say power is the last thing to go. I mean, his striking looked good against John McDessie. Is supposed to be good with striking, and he usually is, but he didn't. He just looked off. Maybe it was because of how much power he had, but the dude still comes to bang. So good win for Trinaldo. The main fight, or the top of the prelims, we had Brandon Moreno. They call him the Assassin Baby, getting a win over Jussier Formiga versus unanimous decision again going to the judges. Brandon Moreno, I'm a fan of this dude. I'm a fan of how he fights, and I always thought he would get near the very top of the division. And getting a win over Jussier Formiga, that dude's been I want to say top 3 in the flyweight division for a while. And I thought Formiga would be contending for the title. I thought he would have by now. I think he might have previously, but I'm saying just recently. I thought he would have attempted a shot at the title recently, but he lost against Benavidez, and now he lost against Moreno. Moreno might get that next shot after, I assume, they do the rematch between Joseph Benavidez and God, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. Let's see, they actually have. Let me look. Do they still have Cejudo as the? They don't. Davison Figueiredo. That's right. I assume they're going to do that rematch. That's what Dana was talking about. So, and I feel like after that, if Moreno can sit around, he'll get the next shot. Fight before that, Amanda Ribas gets a decision win over Randa Marcos. Amanda Ribas, excuse me, looks really good. I remember when her first fight, let me look, because I think she's 3-0 in the UFC, if I remember correctly. Let's see, she fought Emily Whitmire, fought Mackenzie Dern, and now fought Randa Marcos. 2 of those 3 went to decision, but all 3 of them, she looks dominant, in my opinion. And strawweight is already stacked as it is, and to add her to that list, I feel like she almost is a complete package. She's such a great prospect in strawweight. Strawweight's already stacked as it is, and now Amanda Ribas is in the picture, and a win over Randa Marcos, which is a name in the division. It's just going to do really well for her. Next, we have Elizio Zaleski getting a win over Alexei Kunchenko. Kunchenko, he looked okay, but Zaleski did really well. I don't really have much to talk about that fight. The next fight, which ended in a majority draw, again went to the judges, was Ronnie Yaya versus Enrique Barzola. Barzola, dude, he won the, I want to say, was it the Mexican Ultimate Fighter, if I remember correctly? And the dude's a beast, and he comes out swinging in power, and Yaya tried to grapple with him, and Barzola just wouldn't have it. I had it for Barzola, so I guess I can't really complain because the fight was close, but I feel like Barzola kind of pulled it off towards the end there because Yaya just wasn't able to put the pedal to the floor to get the finish. So, but I don't know. It's not bad for either of them. They'll keep at it. 3 fights left. Let's see. Marina Moros? Terrible at saying that name. The Iron Lady. She had a good fight. She got a decision there. Anything else? Yeah, that first fight, that Bea Malecki versus Veronica Macedo, that was terrible. A terrible fight. Macedo gassed after the first round. You could tell, the way she came out, she was just, gunning it. I was like, and I want to say was it Michael Bisping on the broadcast was saying, oh, she's coming out trying to land. Every shot she lands, she's trying to knock you out. It's you got to remember, this is 135 pounds. Some women obviously have knockout power. In my opinion, women should be utilizing a lot more head kicks for knockouts. And obviously, I wasn't seeing any of those from Machado, however you say your last name. But Bea was being composed. Just, the one thing I would say about Bea Malecki is she didn't try to put her foot on the pedal. when Veronica was completely gassed, like just flopping on the floor. It's like, what's going on here? But either way, fun little card in Brazil, again with no audience. It was interesting. So anyways, that's my reaction thoughts on the card. Thanks again for watching. I might make a separate video with all of this coronavirus stuff going on and how basically every sport is being suspended or canceled. And seems like Bellator obviously was last night, and possibly even some UFC cards in the future. So I may make some other series where I look back on, maybe watch some old cards, maybe some Pride cards or something. But yeah, I don't know. I might discuss that in another video. So anyways, I think that's it for me. Hope you guys had a good fight night. Let's see, it's Saturday. It's almost 9 o'clock Eastern, so it's not too late. So go out, have a good time, have a good night. Thanks again for watching. Leave some comments in the comment section. I'm needing to feel some love there. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll link some videos on this side, and then my subscribe button up in the top right. So with that, thanks again for watching. Have a good night, and talk to you guys next time. Peace.